Alyssa had always been in the public spotlight since she was a little girl.
We love you!
She was given everything she ever wanted. Her father, Pierre, spoiled her with lavish gifts.
Alyssa!
They went on vacations to exotic places and attended the most prestigious venues and more. Alyssa wasn't just some spoiled little brat either, even though she was given a lot growing up. Her father came from a poor background. Alyssa's grandparents immigrated to the United States just before the start of World War II. Her father knows what it's like to grow up not knowing if you're going to be able to eat today. Times were tough. So while Alyssa had anything she could ever ask for and then some, she also used her position and resources from her father's company to start foundations to help other people who couldn't help themselves. She started the Alyssa Monroe Foundation for Cancer Research. She also was an active part of various humanitarian foundations to go overseas in Africa, especially for those without clean water, fresh food, and clothing. The foundation also contributed in building infrastructure for hospitals and schools in many third world countries. So yes, while Alyssa did live a life of luxury, she also gave it back to her fellow man. She also respected her privacy, and being one of the most famous individuals on the planet, she found it hard to square away some alone time. She was like most of us who enjoyed hanging out with her friends, going to the movies, or just relaxing at home with her dog. On one Thursday morning, Alyssa woke up just like every other day to start off by going to her private gym. Alyssa was a beautiful woman, and at 23 years old she found it important by maintaining her body. She ate healthy and exercised regularly. Alyssa also did yoga and practiced meditation by the pool. While getting on her bicycle, Alyssa put in her AirPods and started her exercise playlist on Spotify. Her workout begins as a 5-mile bike ride from her home and ends at her gym. She had access to everything you'd see at a normal gym like treadmills, weights, benches, saunas, and more. That morning as she was finishing up her bike ride, she found it strange. There were hardly any vehicles on the roadways and barely any pedestrians on the sidewalks as she rode. Before long, she rode up to the front gate of the gym. The security guard, Barry, had a smile on his face stating,
Good morning, Ms. Monroe. How was your bike ride?
She had known Barry for many years as he was a close family friend. Alyssa smiled back.
Good morning to you too, Barry. The ride was good and sweaty.
Barry laughs out loud and opens the main gate to let Alyssa through.
Enjoy your workout routine, Alyssa. If you need anything, just give a shout.
Alyssa says,
Thank you, Barry. I appreciate it.
Alyssa puts her AirPods back in and rides off into the parking lot. She parks her bicycle and then opens the main door into the gym. She turns on the lights and starts playing the music of her playlist over the speakers in the facility. She starts off by doing some stretches in the middle of the floor to get limbered up. She then starts jogging in place. After about 15 minutes, she is warmed up. She heads into the back room to grab a towel and then into the kitchenette to make a smoothie with fresh banana and mango. She pours her smoothie into her bottle and starts to take a sip. Just as she is about to put the bottle down, she hears her phone start ringing. Alyssa promptly grabs her phone from her waistband holder and it shows Barry calling her. Alyssa answers the phone and says,
Hello, is everything okay, Barry?
Barry asks Alyssa,
Ms. Monroe, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but there is a white BMW at the front gate and the gentleman says you instructed him to show up here?
Alyssa then apologetically replies with,
Oh yes, I have forgot to tell you, Barry. He's my personal trainer for MMA fighting. I am so sorry.
Barry then lets out a chuckle.
Okay, Alyssa. I'll let him on through to you. Sorry for the inconvenience.
Alyssa tells Barry,
You're the best, Barry. You're just doing your job, and thank you.
Barry and Alyssa then hang up the phone. Shortly thereafter, the gentleman with the white BMW makes his way up into the parking lot. He walks into the main door to greet Alyssa. He walks into the gym to introduce himself. Alyssa greets him and they both extend hands and he says, Good morning, Alyssa. I'm Tyler. It's nice to finally meet you in person. Tyler is a professional trainer of various well-respected fighters in the martial arts and has been doing this for quite a few years now. Alyssa, with a smile on her face as he notices how handsome he is, gleefully says,
Nice to meet you too, Tyler, and thank you for being here.
Tyler also notices how beautiful Alyssa is and says, The pleasure is all mine. The two sit down and talk about a workout regimen of what would be best suited for Alyssa. They go to work by doing some basic moves and stretches. He explains in detail that with time and dedication she can become proficient in MMA. She explains that while it's on the table, she just wants to know some basic self-defense moves just in case. A couple of hours later, they are taking a break and just chatting and getting to know one another a little more. Alyssa then says to Tyler,
Hey, I'm gonna grab a couple of smoothies and a towel. I'll be right back. Did you want one?
Tyler replies back, I would love a smoothie, Alyssa. Thanks. Alyssa smiles as she walks off. She is getting to feel more comfortable around learning the basics of her training and able to do simple moves only the couple hours in. Alyssa feels good about her progress. Alyssa makes her smoothies and hands one to Tyler before going into the bathroom to freshen up a bit before going to the back room to grab a towel. A few minutes later, she unlocks the door and makes her way into the back room. She turns on the light and grabs her towel. As Alyssa walks her way back out, her phone starts ringing. It's Barry again. Alyssa playfully answers the phone and says,
Who is it this time, Barry? A raccoon?
However, there is no answer, just static. Alyssa's expression goes from playful to concerned after a few seconds. She again, in a more hurried tone, says,
Barry? Are you there? Hello? Hello?
The phone then disconnects and beeps. She then runs out of the back room and goes to Tyler. Just as she makes it where she last saw Tyler, there is no one there. She looks around the room startled. Alyssa unlocks her phone and opens the app for her security system to lock down the gym. Alyssa repeatedly tries to put the gym facility into lockdown, but it's unable to process the action as the Wi-Fi at the gym is not available. Alyssa's expression goes from bad to worse now. Alyssa runs out of the building and grabs her bike by the front door. She notices that Tyler's white BMW is still there as she rides down to where Barry would be. Alyssa runs off her bike as it crashes into a few bushes by the front gate. She yells out,
Barry, are you there? Barry!
She doesn't see anyone outside and opens the door to see inside the guard shack. What Alyssa sees in there will mark her for life. She is appalled to see Barry on the ground with blood spilled on the walls and floor. Alyssa, in shock, nervously shakes and begins to cry as she stumbles out of the guard shack. She collapses outside on the ground and tries to call 911. Just as Alyssa is about to dial, she hears a familiar voice from behind her. He says in a threatening tone, I wouldn't do that if I were you.